Welcome back to the Supercharged Podcast. We're back with the Minecraft architect, Lane Hubenak, and the AIM Lab master, Jan the Man, Jan, right there with you. And myself, Noah Anzaldua, the Apex grinder. And yeah. So today we've got a lot to get to. We've got our special guest host, JR. He hasn't been here since the inception of this whole idea. But he's here now, and you might be seeing more of him. Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about today, mostly regarding Xbox's acquisition of Activision, Blizzard King. And yeah, I just kind of want to start out with a question that's kind of broad. What were y'all's first thoughts about this when y'all heard it?
I thought it was crazy, and I was wondering if it had something to do with the allegations that were coming against them and the price that their company was becoming, because their stocks were plummeting. And it's the news is so big, people who don't even game are talking about it. I was at work, and my pharmacist and another coworker were actually talking about, because they talk about stocks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about how big it was, because I think they said their stocks dropped like $100 or something like that, and because of that, Microsoft acquired them. I don't know if that's the reason for it per se, but yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good,
My initial thought when I first, so somebody sent the message and just, I think it was Colin or
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure who sent it first, but I was like, wow, money. I felt like it was such a big amount for ABK. They have great IPs, they have great games, and a lot of their stuff that they own is name brand gaming. But it's just I feel like they just spend too much, and I don't know. It's weird trying to figure out what Microsoft's overall plan is, and I guess it's the metaverse, which I still don't really understand.
Yeah, yeah. I think on its face value, it's just like, okay, we bought ZeniMax for $7 billion, which has the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, like Wolfenstein, like literally so many iconic IPs, and then we're gonna buy Activision for Diablo, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, maybe. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore, and Call of Duty, which Call of Duty's huge, and I think that is what warrants this 100%. And yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see where that goes. But like my initial reaction was just, this is probably fake. Like, I don't know. I saw people tweeting about it, and I was like, no, there's no way. And then I was like, well, Game Pass is gonna be like, you cannot just not have Game Pass as like a gamer. You gotta have it after this.
World of Warcraft is still pretty big too, not just
that's true. It is, yeah. And that's another angle too. It's just like, it's not just you're buying the IP, you're buying like the structure, the infrastructure. So like battle.net is huge. The sort of like relationships they have with like other, like companies, like they've talked about how they want to honor like this kind of deal to keep games on PlayStation, which I don't think is really gonna happen, except for like with Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty's too big to not have on PlayStation, because it will just bring a lot of money into Xbox either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Microsoft is weird with that, because I was reading about it, and they just make so many promises about, oh well, we're not going to make this exclusive, we're not going to make that exclusive, we're going to let games come out on Steam, we're going to let you not have to play it on Xbox. It's weird, because it's not exactly the best business decision that you can make when you own the IPs, because Sony's out here and they're like, oh, you want to play Spider-Man? Are you kidding me? You got to buy PlayStation 5. You got to buy the game. You got to buy network services, but for Xbox, they're like, oh yeah, you can buy Game Pass, play it on your computer.
Play it on your phone.
Or you could buy, you could buy Halo on Steam and just play it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to buy Halo. You can just
play Halo.
Yeah.
But it's just weird trying to figure out, like, I don't know. It's I don't know if it's like they're like, "Yeah, we got something like something's eventually gonna happen," but
Well,
I think
they because Game Pass is so cheap, maybe they'll increase the price in the future once more people are reliant on it. You know what I mean? Because there's so much that you have access to.
I could see
Yeah.
them eventually saying like, "Oh, well, here's like Game Pass Extra Plus Xbox
Yeah, yeah.
version," and then like they put like their big things on there.
I
That's
could see that.
But
yeah, that's my thing about it. I feel like at this point they've already promised so much to the consumer that like, okay, we have Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and that's
Mhm.
like $10 and $15 a month respectively. I don't see them like shying away and saying, okay, we're going to remove some features of Ultimate and then put those in another
Mhm.
tier. I feel like the next
Yeah.
tier would just have something like to bring more people in. I don't know what it would be. Maybe it's like the crossover with like Disney Plus or all those things that we've seen. I don't know, but
Yep. We'll ship you one part of an Xbox a month, and then
yeah,
at the end of 12 months, you can build your own Xbox.
yeah. It's
That's
like
it.
Nintendo Labo but better. You get to actually have a
Yeah.
console that
That would
works.
that would honestly be pretty fun though. Just
Yeah.
be able to share an Xbox.
Great. Microsoft, hire me. Oh, I got you. Uh,
um, okay, so like from your perspective, or from like assuming your Xbox right now, like, are you feeling good about this acquisition? Like, what do you think you're actually getting from this deal?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, because it's Activision Blizzard, there's all kinds of allegations against them right now. So that's kind of like you're taking all that in, but at the same time, maybe they can fix that and then go back and because I saw that the what's his name, Phil Spencer, right?
Yeah,
He said that he wanted to go back and revive a bunch of forgotten franchises in the games,
yeah, yeah,
which is exciting, you know? Like a bunch of old games could potentially come back better than ever. And Microsoft, in my experience at least, has always done games pretty well.
I think uh, for Microsoft, this is a deal that they should take because they can do it while, let's say, Sony or like any other monopoly or in the triopoly, Tencent, Sony, Microsoft, whatever.
yeah,
Uh, Microsoft's their gaming revenue is such a small section of their overall revenue. Like they could just sell more team subscriptions or something, and then they can like make a great ABK game. Like all they need is IP. Whereas Sony, like they can't spend 70 billion or like whatever the price. I don't remember the
yeah, yeah,
exact number. They can't send that for ABK, where they only had 8 billion in revenue that this past year. It's not successful, and Sony doesn't have that like extra bit that they can dip into to just say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna fix your company." But Microsoft definitely can, and it's just a
yeah.
dub. They just get to do it.
Yeah, I think they see the money coming in from potential like Bethesda sales, Ninja Theory
Mhm.
sales from like the upcoming Hellblade 2 coming out. I think they see like they're getting the money in as like somehow, I don't know. And Microsoft itself is getting money in like through all of its other services it offers outside of gaming. And then you've got all this good IP and you've got all this talent, I feel like, locked up in
Mhm.
supporting Call of Duty. Like Beanox used to make pretty good Spider-Man games. I mean, then
Mhm.
PS4 Spider-Man on the PS4 came out and became the Spider-Man game, but
Yeah.
Beanox did make some great games out there, and Vicarious Visions has been locked up in Blizzard after they did like some of the best Destiny stuff that there is, and I feel like they've just got so much potential there, like so much. And like Treyarch used to make games before Call of Duty at some point.
Mhm.
There was a time when all of these studios made other games, and that's like exciting. Um,
They just need
and
the money.
they
They
just need the
just need the
money.
Microsoft money.
Yep. And they need the leadership to get Bobby Kotick out of there, who's loud,
Oh yeah.
who has
Microsoft is the
participated in.
sugar daddy of video games.
It's true, yeah,
Yeah.
and but hopefully, without the weird sexual harassment stuff that comes with a sugar daddy. And I think
Right.
that's the point here is because Bobby Kotick is awful. He's allowed these things to happen. He participated in these things like that involve sexual harassment, that involve the mistreatment of women and like minorities at Activision, Blizzard King, and I think that I'm hopeful that under Xbox something happens. The Activision Blizzard King like Workers Alliance has maintained that they're going to keep going and keep their same mission goals and like continue to operate no matter who owns them. I think that's great, and I think that change doesn't happen without them leading the charge from the start as a result of that lawsuit that happened. And I think that's like really the first thing I want to see is their culture change. And I think with the culture changing, you're going to get people who are more like enthusiastic about their job, more likely to come to work every day and like be happy about what they're doing and like working on good stuff. And I think that's only a great thing for Xbox and Activision.
For sure.
But it'll be a while until we see those new IPs like getting announced and like revitalized and stuff like that. So, it's a risk.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I think I saw some Phil Spencer had said something though that because they acquired Activision and they had all these issues, he said Microsoft isn't in politics. We're just here to make video games. Is I think something I had read he had said. So I think maybe they're gonna try to go through and fix some stuff, but I don't think they're gonna be publicly advocating for either side.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Everyone's in politics because that's where like money is politics.
Yeah.
So they might not be as easily found out or like publicly whatever, but I don't buy that they don't.
Yeah, because this is the thing.
Like that.
I've been watching a lot of Succession, and you don't say things outright, right? You don't say, yeah, like Bobby Kotick is an asshole and a horrible man, and we condemn him completely. But what you do is you have a lower level employee leak something to the media saying Bobby Kotick will be out by the time the acquisition is completed, and that's what they did, and that's what we know now. He'll be out with a nice sizable like payout, but he will be out. And that means that they are committed to changing the workplace culture, I think.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying going forward, I don't think their goal is to like have a stance left or right or good or bad on politics. Like you think he's saying is like Microsoft's main goal is to have a community of people who just like to create good games and to put out good games for their customers, their consumers. You know what I mean?
For sure. I just think that I don't know. I don't know where we got to politics from.
No, I'm not saying it's political. I'm saying because you had talked about how they're gonna go through and they're going to fix all these issues, right?
Yeah.
And bringing up like what's it called? I'm blanking here.
I think that allowing ABK's union to still exist and not saying, "Oh, we're going to get rid of that." Like, even if you're just not saying we're going to get rid of that, and allowing that to still exist and having Bobby Boy being like publicly said he's out.
Yeah,
that's inherently like a political take in a way that it's not like actively political, but it's like, hey, you should buy our stuff because we're cool.
Yeah.
And I think in essence, everything in business is somewhat political in the same way, just because like our politics are our money. Like it's just what it is. It's sad, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Game Pass, huh? It is great this month.
Oh yeah, so
we got I know that they have Dangan Trigger Happy Havoc Anniversary Edition.
Oh,
great game, amazing game. You should play all of them. maybe not V3 because it's my least favorite, but Dangan 1 is one of my favorite games. And then they also have Nobody Saves the World, great game. We should definitely all play it. But what else do they have? Oh, Hitman Trilogy, that's a
Right.
banger. Spelunky 2. Spelunky 1's better as far as I could tell. I don't know if Spelunky 1 or Spelunky 2 has had all the updates that it needs. Because that happens with roguelike games where on first release it's not perfect, but over time it gets to be really good.
Yeah.
But Spelunky's a banger. Uh, Outer Wilds, banger. What else we got?
Banger.
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 Death's Door, heard it's great.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't really jumped into it all that much, but amazing. I think that's the big ones. Unless you can think of any other ones.
No, I can't. But also, just thinking about like how in 2 years from now you'll add on to the Game Pass like library with like the latest Call of Duty releases every
Oh
year.
yeah.
That's going to be insane, and that's going to bring in so many people. And also, it's just like a new like probably. I think this is my thoughts on Call of Duty. I think that like having a subscription service for Call of Duty would probably be the best way to like experience it because it's just a yearly title, and it's questionable. And Xbox might change it. Xbox might make Call of Duty the golden standard of first person shooters that it used to be. But I think it'll maintain a yearly release and probably still be of mediocre quality every time it lands, with like maybe one good quality about each one. Like maybe the zombies in this year's release will be really great. But I think I don't know. I just think that having Game Pass subscribers join to play Call of Duty and then see like, oh, there's all these indie games that are really cool, and like, oh, there's Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I want to play that. I think that's going to be great in like pulling in maybe more casual Call of Duty players and getting them to like join the core Xbox family. And I think that's going to be great for them, regardless of if Call of Duty's going to be on PlayStation. I think that Xbox is still going to make Xbox the place to play Call of Duty, like just because of that deal specifically.
That's another thing about. I don't want to go too far back, but with Xbox, a lot of people tried to say that them buying ABK would make them like heavy winning in the gaming monopoly race. Like it's like, oh, they got Park Place, but
Yeah,
looking at the revenue again, because money's everything for these guys. ABK, $8 billion company. Microsoft, $15 billion in gaming, and then Sony, $23 billion in gaming, and like 2020 to 2021, which was a great year for gaming.
Yeah.
But the PS5 is getting its best games like this past 3 months, and then February when Elden Ring comes out, and then everything else comes out after that. So I don't know. I think it's still up in the air as far as that. But once they develop, like as you said, and then COD becomes a Game Pass thing, and casual gamers get into COD, and people start buying Xboxes because they're like, oh, I want to play with more people than just the PC community and stuff like that. I could see them just banging it out. Like I could see them doing that at 23 billion a year.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll try to make it more cross compatible though, because I know their end goal is, like you said, to make more money because that's what they're about. So they're going to want to sell more consoles because that's going to make them a hell of a lot more money than someone who already has a computer set up. But with the cross compatibility, you bring in more people to each game, and that could potentially be more money, especially with games like, because Warzone, they do cosmetic items all the time, like different events and stuff. So them getting that game and then bringing more people in from, so let's say, okay, so now, because I don't play Warzone, I don't know if they already have cross compatibility between the three, but it's just an example. If they had more games like that and more people are able to play together, and that's a lot more money generated just for their cosmetic items.
Yeah, I think that's like a big thing with Xbox specifically. that they always want to be like, yeah, let's do cross-platform stuff, like let's do crossplay, and then Sony's always the one to be like, nah, we're good. But I think that, with Activision under your belt, maybe Sony's like, okay, yeah, we'll do crossplay, because honestly, at this point, the pressure in the industry is just so like high at that point that crossplay literally needs to be a thing. Otherwise, people will not play your game at some point, just because you want to play with friends. You want to play with friends who have different consoles and different ecosystems. And I think that the shift is definitely in that direction. So I think that that's where they'll go. And especially with the cosmetics that are brought in by like Call of Duty and stuff, like that's a lot of money just for like minimal, dev effort kind of. I don't know exactly, but cosmetics are easier to develop than like maps. But I do want to talk about how like this monopoly that Xbox is building compared to PlayStation, because PlayStation has made a lot of moves this past year. Also, they acquired, well, like I think they like finalized, or I mean, Team Asobi's pretty much been their first party dev, but I think they like took them on specifically now, and then they're the ones who like did Astro's Playroom and Astro's the like tech demo on the PS5 that was like really cool. And they took on what was it? Housemarque, the developer of Returnal, and Resogun before that. Like this amazing Returnal is like this amazing bullet hell that's third person, that's like a roguelite, and is insanely good, insanely polished, and like use the DualSense really well. And I think that they're like shoring up their defenses with like these smaller indie groups that have been brought in as PlayStation Studios, and I don't think that's a bad way to go. They also brought in one of the devs of this one game called The Persistence. It's like this horror survival horror like VR game, and I think that they've got a lot of plans. Like, and I think now they're working on like a first person shooter game. So I think they've got a lot of plans for like, answers to everything that Microsoft is doing, but they're answers in the Sony flavor of being like really small sort of single player experiences maybe. Like doing what they do best. And I think that's part of it also, is like Sony right now still has supremacy in terms of here's a good single player adventure game. Xbox does not have these yet. I think Xbox could have these very soon. In terms of like Hellblade and like not single player adventure sort of like third person type things, but like Starfield and like Bethesda's going to bring in a lot of stuff like that. But I still think that their flavors of games are like very separate from each other at this point. When I think PlayStation, I think like third person adventure, and then when I think Xbox, I think like first person, maybe RPG, maybe just shooter, and like that kind of style of game.
I think the only like third person adventure that comes to mind when I think of like an Xbox game was Gears of War.
Yeah.
That's the only one that comes to mind, really.
And that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I always see these articles that like the ones that pop up on your phone, like when you open Google Chrome, and they're like, "Whoa, you're a gamer. This is what you should read." And it's always something like
targeted ads. Yeah,
it's always something like Microsoft is losing this exclusive to PlayStation and Nintendo. But I don't know. Like I feel like they're losing it to PlayStation, but Nintendo is just in a weird spot. Like because they're selling bangers, they're releasing bangers.
Yeah.
But we're not in a Wii era, and that made me think like, what games sell best? Like what is it, the single player experience, or is it like the first person, like multiplayer, or like what is the why, like what do we play games for? Why do we buy games?
I think it
And I
depends
guess
on the person and what they're seeking at the moment,
yeah. And I think that like single player games will probably sell more overall because like you got to play it yourself. But like the Wii was like a family thing, like that's the whole point. So like why did that sell to like millions? Like it's the highest selling console of all time.
Yeah. A gaming trend we were talking about, like the PlayStation released their most downloaded games of the year last month, and they were, at like the top of the charts was always Call of Duty, and then or no NBA 2K22 or 21 was like the highest selling game on their list, um, which kind of sucks for like the industry. I feel like because that just means okay, we're gonna do the same thing next year, and y'all are
Yep.
gonna buy it because y'all are stupid, and that's just what they do. I think even that this
And
year's like NBA, like the dribbling sucked or something.
it always sucks.
Yeah.
Every 2K is always ass, and they always fix something and break something else.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah, but people love sports games. They love Call of Duty, and that's why like this is just a no-brainer because if Call of Duty was the top seller in downloads at least on PlayStation last year, then and it's this year of Call of Duty, it's like Vanguard. Like, come on, it's gonna sell a ton. Or yeah, I think it was probably Cold War because that was the one that was more out that year. Um, yeah, but I think the first person games were on those lists, especially or not first person. The single player games were on those lists because especially because it was a PlayStation list. But they were there. Like Deathloop was like number 19 or 20. And also notably in the like European area, FIFA was like number 1 and 2. FIFA 21 and FIFA 22 were like number 1 and 2. Yeah.
That's the worst part is that they're doing so well that Microsoft's never going to get to buy 2K, and they're never going to fix it.
True.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I still think it just depends on the person and what they're going through at the moment. Because some people use gaming as an escape,
Yeah.
Like I've never really used it as an escape. I just enjoy playing video games, but sometimes it's just nice to just kind of just zone out and just like Minecraft. Because you're calling me the Minecraft architect. By the way, where did you even? Why that for my title?
Because I saw your stuff. Look at your background. I mean, what are you doing? You playing
It's
Minecraft?
just every now and then. Um, but sometimes I don't know, long day at work, you just come home, you zone out, you mine a little bit, and then it's like, okay, yeah, I feel better. But like I've had every kind of game. I've had sports games, I've had fishing games, I've had first person games, third person games, um, you know, MMOs, RPGs, MMORPGs.
Yeah,
There's all kinds of different genres out there. It just depends on what you're interested in.
for
Some
sure.
people some people want that single person adventure. Other people want to party up and call people dog water after they've demolished them in a pubs game or something. I don't know.
It's true.
I think one thing, like, if you think like, oh, NBA 2K or COD, it, they're not similar in essence because FPS game, sports game, and then like roguelikes, like they're all different. But the same thing that they all share is that they have enjoyable gameplay and a repeatable experience that you can just keep going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah,
And maybe that's just what sells. And Minecraft, you can just like keep going and going. It's infinite world. You can keep having a
it's
repeatable,
yeah,
oh, something new.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird.
I think it's
Yeah.
just that 30-second gaming loop that just keeps you coming back. And yeah, when it's like an NBA game, it's pretty easy to do that. I think.
Yeah.
But also, I just like empirically, I think that those games are the ones that sell the most. Like NBA, Call of Duty, FIFA, those are going to be like mainstays. I think for the foreseeable future. Just because you don't see like gyms that are like really good ever hitting these lists. Like you don't probably Nobody Saves the World, even though it's like an amazing indie
Yeah.
title from the makers of Guacamelee. You're not going to see it like hit these lists as like top selling. You will see it on like games of the year or like best
Yeah. Yeah.
like like let's dig into why this game is good. You'll see all the video essays, you'll see the reviews, and like see that it's good critically, but it just probably won't reach that like height. But Game Pass is good for that. Game Pass is good for game discovery, I think, because you'll have people saying, I'll try that," like that they wouldn't normally try because they wouldn't normally pay $20 to try out that one game. And that's a really cool thing that Xbox is doing.
It makes me think, like, I wonder if people are actively like consumer conscious about like, oh, I'll buy COD because I know that I can just keep playing it over and over and over and over and over, and like that's great for my dollar,
Yeah.
dollar to hour ratio. Or if that's just like an innate thing, like it's like a subconscious, like, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I've been thinking, like, I read a Reddit post about like the dumbest people you've ever met.
Yeah.
And it made me think, like, I wonder how much of like consumerism is just like innate stuff that you pick up, or like if you're consciously like,
I mean, all your buddies have the new COD, so you got to get the new COD, of course, too.
That's part of it too, for sure. Yeah.
so
Yeah, and then
one buddy.
So explain to me real quick, because I haven't played Call of Duty for years. The Warzone that they have going on, like they have Warzone, they have Cold War. Is that all technically the same game with like just different, like, okay, so you click on this and you play Cold War, or you click on this, you play Warzone, or is it like two separate
So
games?
for I haven't played in forever either, but with Warzone, you have to download Warzone, and it's like a file that's just as big as either of the base games. And so like you go into the launcher and you just say COD Warzone, or COD Black Ops, or Cold
Yeah.
War, and then whatever the last one was.
Vanguard.
Warfare? Oh, Vanguard.
Yeah, it's
And the
like
one before that.
yeah. It launched alongside Modern Warfare, and that was how it was. Like you could pick Modern Warfare or Warzone, but it's always like very tied to the like concurrent release. So like when Vanguard released, it was like, okay, you can, like, if you pre-order or something, I don't know, you can get like whatever the Russian girl was, and you can play as her, or you can get the British black guy and play as her, or plays him, and like then you get like weapons also on the battle pass that are from Vanguard, and I don't know, there's like integration, and the weapons and like loadouts and all that stuff, you can incorporate the stuff from that like current release, and that might be completely wrong, but I think that's my understanding of it. As someone who watched a lot of Dr. Disrespect play Call of Duty Warzone for no reason whatsoever, I don't know why, but
I was always curious about it because I see them release the new Call of Duties, and I'm just wondering, like, is it a different Warzone for each one, or is Warzone tied to all of them, and like you can launch it from whatever game you buy?
yeah, for
That
the
kind
most
of thing.
part, it's just the same Warzone, and then they
Mhm.
sort of change that, and then sometimes they update the map, and like I think the current map, Pacific, is the one that's, there's no air quotes needed. It's the one that's it's like tied to Vanguard because it's like the Pacific Theater. I don't know. I have no idea. And
Gotcha.
I do know that like every time you have to patch Warzone, it takes like 3 hours, like 5 hours. So I don't know how much they actually change, or if they're just really bad at like like putting things in an easy download.
You
But
haven't heard of a zip file?
yeah, the
but
compression, it's not good.
yeah.
It
So,
yeah.
so I'm guessing that they must like tweak it a lot. I don't know. Or maybe they just don't tweak it a lot and they just do all their tweaks all at once or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
it changes. Changes.
But yeah, going back to what you were saying, people are active consumers or not. Sometimes I think it's based on who you're around or even what you've seen based on the game.
True.
Yeah, I think for most it's just that, okay, I'm watching ESPN and I'm seeing a whole lot of Call of Duty on there, and that means the new Call of Duty's coming out, and I probably gotta get that game so I can play with my friends, and that's probably it. Like, it's probably it's that, and it's also like man, I know Call of Duty. I've been playing it forever, and
Yeah.
it's like that's my thing. I'm gonna get it. Instead of like taking a risk on a first person, or no, fuck, I keep on saying first person, on like a single player thing that I might drop off of in 3 hours, or I could play Call of Duty, which I know I'll at least get like a few, hours of enjoyment out of, and will have in my library. Um,
Yeah,
but
you're just trying to watch the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and then the lawyer's like, "Did you play COD?" And now you gotta buy it.
exactly, it's everywhere. It's pervasive.
No, yeah, like everyone knows COD. It's a good buy, Microsoft. I'm proud of you. Proud of you guys. Dang.
Yeah, I think I think that the culture at ABK will shift, and I hope it will. But if it doesn't, Microsoft will still be the corporate overlords making the money. So good for them either way.
Corporate overlords. You want to talk about a corporate overlord? Let's talk about Disney.
Oh, true.
True. And let's talk about how this compares to the. Did we talk about that?
We did not mention 21st Century.
So
Not yet.
this is the biggest acquisition in gaming history, and it's 68.7 billion. And when Disney acquired 21st Century Fox, it was for $71.3 billion, which I think that's insane. Like, in terms of just like the money, JR, you want to talk about that?
So, looking at like the reported revenue for 21st Century Fox versus ABK, because the numbers are similar. Like it's a switch of what, 3 billion, 2 billion, between Microsoft's purchase price of ABK and Disney's purchase price for 21st Century Fox. 21st Century Fox was making banger years. Like their 2018 year, 30 billion. Like they're averaging what what Sony makes out of games and networks every year in revenue, and then Disney buys it for what, 2.5 years of their revenue, and they just own it and they can make everything now. I don't know. It's weird, and it for me it paints what Microsoft did in like a way better light, just because like they know that they can't instantly get a payoff out of it like Disney definitely did with 21st Century Fox.
Yeah. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about less of the business side of it. And if you're you're an Activision fan, all of you, because you're gamers, and you have to be an Activision fan at some point in your life. What is the IP that you'll revive from Activision's like sort of catalog? Activision or Blizzard or King, if you really like some King stuff that got discontinued.
I've been waiting for this, but if Microsoft like if they like make huge Hearthstone updates or something like that, and like
Oh,
just make it incredibly popular again, I will pog out of my gourd.
that could
Like
be really
I
good.
will I will start microtransactioning out of my ass if Hearthstone gets like really good again.
That's pretty good.
For me, it'd probably be Spyro.
Yeah,
True.
Spyro. Yeah, that'd be huge.
Okay, Spyro more so than the other one, but either Spyro or start bringing out some more Guitar Hero, bro. Guitar Hero is so
That's
fun.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
a party
saying.
game for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Spyro would be good because you're just like saying, "Oh, Sony, this is your little PlayStation mascot. Formerly, this is ours now."
Yeah.
And Crash Bandicoot because they have that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I really like Guitar Hero because especially if you go back to like pre-live, because I don't really mess with live at all. I suck at live. I think it just the symbols look too similar, and I don't know how to do that at all in my brain. But like if you just simplify it down back to just two guitars and Guitar Hero and like no drum set or anything like as a base model, and then you see how that goes. I think Guitar Hero could slap as like a monthly guitar or Xbox Game Pass like subscription game. Especially
Tons of new songs that have come out since then too. So it's like
exactly.
music is always going.
Yeah.
That could be what was it? What was it you called it earlier, Jr. Where people are like they get more for their dollar to
Oh,
hour
yeah,
ratio or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't give it like an exact word, but like,
Guitar
yeah,
Hero would definitely be an example of that. Like you buy the one game and then they come out with I don't know 100, 200 songs
It'd be so
like
good.
every few months.
You could easily just like monetize the hell out of it, or yeah, monetize the hell out of it. Say, okay, you can buy all these songs for like 199, or you can just buy the
mhm.
Game Pass subscription and you'll get all the songs as they
Oh,
come out, and that would be good.
that's genius. You
Different guitar
buy,
skins
Yeah,
because there's gonna be a cosmetic in games now. That's just how games work now, I guess.
yeah, true.
so we bump up the Xbox Game Pass subscription where they mail you Xbox parts, and then we put in like they mail you Guitar Hero and Rock Band instruments. Like, that's it. That's
Oh man, it'd
it's
be
true.
good. Like
What's
Yeah,
the little
yeah.
bar? What's the little bar called where it's like when you'd have a long note, you would it's like a whammy
the
bar.
Whammy
whammy.
bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the last piece. You have to
that's like
insert it
yeah.
You just hit the whammy bar as you keep releasing Guitar Hero DLC, and the money increases over time.
Pretty much.
Genius.
Yeah. Other than that, I really like Tony Hawk's Underground, and I want
Oh,
that to return. That's like that was my childhood for like a year. I like played the hell out of that on PlayStation 2 because give me like a controller and tell me to like do tricks, like I'll do it on Tony Hawk's like Pro Skater, but it's just like why am I doing this? But Underground gave me a reason. I got to like prove myself to the whole skating community and build a name for myself, and I love that. I love any like RPG elements in something that would not typically be an RPG. That's the stuff right there.
I
Um,
want. Okay, this is a kind of off of it, but it is an IP that I want brought back. But well, it's not even an IP. It's just something that I want back. But it is in the same realm of like Guitar Hero instruments and uh, you know, stuff that you can only do with that kind of thing.
mhm.
I used to play Shaun White skateboarding with the Wii Balance board. I played it on stream a couple
Oh
of
yeah.
times with a foot cam. And that game is so fun. And also, a Wii Fit Plus had like a skateboarding mini game, but like a skateboarding game like Tony Hawk, but like they just I don't know. I don't
They
even
bring
know
back
how
the
they. I
Connect.
guess like well, that'd be crazy. But like if Nintendo like somehow says, "Oh, well, we're gonna like make it so that you use your Switch for like gyroscopic controls or something,"
Yeah.
like you stand on your Switch, you stand on your Switch and like look in between your feet to control the skateboard. That'd be good.
That'd be a good way for you to break your Joy Cons, and then Nintendo has $120 more.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you got to support Nintendo. You gotta love
Mhm.
Nintendo.
Oh yeah,
Um,
they're such a small scale company. They need it.
yeah.
At least like this used to happen all the time when we were younger. Like anybody would release anything about Nintendo Let's Play, instant copyright. Like
Oh yeah.
no Let's Plays from Nintendo.
Yeah.
But they're getting better. They're understanding. Hey, people want to buy our games. They see it online.
Yep. That's true.
They've grown. They've grown.
Uh, let's uh, let's talk about King. You know, let's talk about Candy Crush.
Oh,
And you know
mobile
they have
gaming.
other games too. Like I think like Witch Queen Saga, not Witch Queen, but it's like I don't know. There's something like Witch Queen. It's like the same type of thing. Like Bubble Witch Saga. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, do y'all think that this is gonna be like? Okay, so I think mobile gaming obviously brings in like the most money in gaming ever. Like just because of like
Wales.
yeah, whales and reach
Yeah.
and all that. What do y'all see Xbox doing with King, if anything, other than just letting them be?
Maybe they have like a different Xbox themed uh like cosmetics for Candy Crush. I don't know.
True.
Like
Yeah.
they're like you there's 3 grunt heads that you align, and then it blows up in the birthday party skull.
That'd be
I
pretty
don't know,
good.
something
That'd be
like
pretty
that.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
That would bring in like a lot of the male demographic. They'd be like, "Oh, I don't play Candy Crush," and then they're like, "Oh, wait, I can do Grunt Birthday Surprise." I'm like, I'm downloading that right now.
I don't
You
know.
know, I don't know. I like they just replace Candy Crush with COD Mobile, and then like everybody has it on their phone already, and then just start buying the Battle Pass.
I didn't even think
I
about
honestly,
COD Mobile, about how much money that's going to bring in.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they're gonna do too much with it, to be honest, because their main focus right now, as far as mobile gaming goes, is just being able to portably play your console games on the phone,
True.
isn't it?
Yeah, so
Like that's their end goal is for you to be able to game on the go. So
yeah. I think that the cloud gaming stuff is going to get really cool really quickly, and I think that it's already pretty much almost there in terms of like you can probably play a match of Halo if you have good Wi-Fi, because you can.
Mhm.
Just like a little weird with the input lag and like the latency, but
What is that service that like I've seen ads for it? Don't remember the name of it. Where they just like let you stream play a game on like one of their computers that they keep, and like you just connect and then stream the game to you
like
and you play it.
NVIDIA,
Yeah, it's something like
like
that. But like,
GeForce something,
it's like a actual service or somebody
I haven't heard
that
about it.
like I
like
don't
Luna
remember
or
the name.
Stadia. I don't know.
Stadia. Yep,
Stadia.
Stadia.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What is Stadia?
That's
It's Google's little pet project that they've already abandoned, pretty much. It's like you can stream games without having to download them at all, and it's not the best. And like, but it's like getting better. But also, they've pretty much given up on it at this point. Um, Destiny's on it. Destiny 2 is on it right now, and it. I tried to play it with some pretty bad Wi-Fi, and I like went into a Crucible match, and it was bad. It was like it was really bad. But
Okay.
you know, there's potential there, especially for like single player games. Um,
yeah.
yeah, there's some like reviews out there of like Resident Evil 8 and like stuff saying that it actually kind of works, and that's the best we can say about it, and so that's good. Um,
They Microsoft should like make a service where you connect to a PC, or like it's kind of like Stadia, but when your Wi-Fi is bad, it's like error, cannot connect to Stadia. Buy an Xbox here, and then
Buy an X.
it's just
Here's the
yeah,
nearest Xbox.
yeah.
that's it.
All right. So let's see.
Oh, I had something to say.
Okay.
This is I want to talk about chips and the chip shortage.
Oh yeah.
So, one thing is apparently Intel is planning on building like 20 billion in chip factories in Ohio.
Oh wow.
But they're not like it's still going to be in a weird spot because when they got to build that, they got to build that stuff, and it's not going to be ready until like 2025 probably. But then also like all the other infrastructure as far as like packaging, shipping, et cetera, they still have to like send that to China. Like they can't just do it all here yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know where they're gonna put it. But that's cool that they're like trying to look into ways of like saying, hey, we should make chips here, but also pollution. You know, like it's just weird because I feel like we have enough industry, we're just not using it right. And yeah, and then also another Intel thing. Intel has signed this contract with like a Bitmine mining company, and they're going to supply them with Intel chips specifically for Bitcoin mining rigs.
That's
And
so
it's
dumb.
just it's so bad. And like I don't
Uh,
know how many environmental L's you can make in like a 3-day period. But
Well, let me
yep.
ask you: is Intel just building a new factory, or are they trying to just move where they are creating their chips? Like, are they going to move
I,
their?
I believe it's build. Like I think they're just adding on like a new one, and then they're just trying to like lighten the load on their other already existing stuff that's out of the country.
So
Because I don't see them saying, "Oh, well, we're gonna just shut down what we already have. It's working." Yeah, that
Yeah,
that wouldn't make sense.
I could see
But
it at first, at least when they build the new place, that it might tone down a bit on that because I mean, obviously you're taking away the materials needed from another place.
yeah,
So, maybe it'll be the same amount, but most likely once they get things up and running after a while, it'll be more than what they were used to because they'll be producing the same amount in both places.
yeah.
we're a year and a half away from the Ohio River being on fire again, and it launching a climate change. Like we're gonna see the light, and we're gonna get all EPA about it. And it's gonna
We
be due to
just
the
throw
Intel stuff.
we throw all the Intel chips in the river, and then because
We're
Yeah.
gonna solve an environmentalism or environment pollution by polluting.
another thing about chips. I mean, it's about chips, but it's graphics cards. So apparently in Japan, they have a loot box that you can buy, and it gives you a random GPU.
What?
Yeah, but there's there's a 70% chance that you get like a GPU from before 2015.
No.
So it's just so ass. Like it's a terrible deal.
That's so
How
funny.
much are the loot boxes though?
I think it's like okay, this says 100 to 125 for the ones that have like those lower end ones in them,
Mm-hmm.
and then
So there's like rarities of the boxes you can buy.
yeah, so they have a good box, all caps, good box, high quality, 100% winning, which you get like another thing that's the same value as what you won. So that's not bad, except like you get terrible cards. And then just box. with
The
a
day
capital B.
that I get an
Mm.
heirloom on Apex is the day I'll buy one of those boxes.
Oh, that's true. That'll be good.
Yeah. Oh god.
All right, so let's wrap up, and I'm just gonna ask y'all, what is your most anticipated game this year?
That's hard.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Do you want to talk about it a little bit more? Have you seen anything else that's piqued your interest about it?
Not really. Just from what I first saw, had me really interested. Again, with any game now, I'm worried about it just being a complete flop. Cyberpunk 2077 kind of set the pace for the rest of my life for that. So,
True.
uh,
Have you
the
seen
only
No Way Home?
I
If
have not.
oh
You wait, you haven't seen No Way Home still?
Oh wait, Spider-Man? No, I saw that. No,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
okay. I thought you were talking about a game called No Way Home. I was like, what? No,
Oh,
not
if
sure.
you expect if you expect disappointment, you'll never be disappointed.
Let's go.
No,
So
bro, no
But
more.
she changed her mindset
Yeah,
though
we're not
about
there
that. So,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
for me, the most anticipated but also most dreaded week will be that like third week in February where we get Total Warhammer 3. I love Total Warhammer. It's a great game. But Total Warhammer 3 is going to be mind-blowing cuz it like so what happens when they release a new Warhammer is they just add an entire new map. Immortal Empires is like Total Warhammer 1 map plus Total Warhammer 2 map.
Hmm.
And so it's just like such a great Total War experience that's like reaching the 4K wall that Total War never really breaches because it's always like the same, you know.
Hmm.
Um so that's going to be tough because I want to play the hell out of that. And then Witch Queen is coming out and
True.
I want to grind that. Elden Ring's coming out. I want to grind that. Uh, the final 4 episodes of Arthur are coming out
I
that
know,
week.
yeah, that's huge.
So, like, I won't know what to do. I won't know. It'll be tough.
Too much media, not enough time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no time to
My
play.
what I was gonna say though is that I'm still really excited for Elden Ring, but I'm not getting my hopes up for it just because, like I said, Cyberpunk. So even with games now, most of the time I don't really pre-order a game unless it's something like it's an expansion on one that I'm already playing. So like I pre-ordered the Witch Queen stuff because that's gonna be good. That they've been doing well with their expansions in Destiny lately. Like the Splicer season, that was amazing. The story was great. So
Yeah,
most anticipated Elden Ring, but the one that I think is gonna be the most fun, or is at least guaranteed like good quality, is probably gonna be Witch Queen
most
at this point in time.
yeah, the amount of hours per dollar will be maximized by Destiny to the Witch Queen.
Like,
Tell us in the comments,
Yeah.
what game are you gonna play 2022?
And are you going to put 500 hours into Dying Light 2? Which is one of my most anticipated games because it looks dope. I loved the first one, and the second one looks like it has everything the first one has, but more of it, and that's amazing. You got like new zombie types that come out at night instead of just the one. You've got like, I don't know, like the parkour possibilities look insane. There's like these updrafts of like wind and like garbage that you can jump into, and they send you up, and then you can like wind glide down, and then you can like wall run, and like it looks so good, and I cannot wait to play some of that. And it's
You're gonna
4-player
stream it?
co-op. It's 4-player co-op. I might, if I buy it, because I just don't have money right now. But
Gotcha.
also, Sifu's looking really good as like a sort of indie game that I should champion. It looks like
are you like a karate teacher?
you're just like a kung fu dude, right? And you're going through and you're just beating people up, but the combat looks really, really refined and really good. And it's got this really cool sort of roguelite thing where everything's procedurally generated. And when you die, you come back older and you do more damage, but you have less health. And every time you die, you come back a little bit older, and you see your age going up, and you see like in the character it's reflected. So like at the end, like if you're dying a lot, you look like this old and like wizened, but also like wise and powerful dude, and you're just like going off. And I really want to get into it because it looks really dope.
That's a cool concept.
Yeah. And
Baby percent speedrun incoming.
yeah,
It kind of reminds me of the Mortal Shell concept a little bit.
yeah, it's kind of like that. I don't know. It looks really cool. Like the combat, it looks really refined and like really good, and it kind of reminds me of Sleeping Dogs, but better. Because Sleeping Dogs is also another slept-on game, and it deserves a sequel, like so badly. Because it's just like kind of like a Grand Theft Auto true crime type game set in China or Hong Kong, and that game's good, and everyone should play that game. But yeah,
Another one that I just thought about that y'all talked about previously, the Shadow of Wonder Woman, Mordor.
Oh yeah,
The Wonder Woman
that
game.
looks good.
It's gonna come out. That'll be really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I think we talked about remember how you could take control of the orcs in Mordor?
Yeah,
How she can use the lasso of truth to do that?
yeah,
It's gonna be
that would be perfect. They need to do that. If they don't do that, then I don't know. They need to hire us. But also, if they like hear that and then like they're like, oh, they might sue us if we use that. We won't sue you. We won't sue you.
No,
we know you're
we
watching the
promise.
Supercharged podcast.
Just subscribe.
Yeah, just subscribe.
Sponsor.
Yeah. I think that about wraps it up for us. So, tell us what your most anticipated game is. Tell us what you think about the Activision Blizzard King acquisition by Xbox. and tell us those in the comments, or if you're listening to the audio version, tweet us at superchargednet. That's at superchargednet, and then also you could tweet at us individually using at vuvuzela21 or at tarnation_gaming and at Jam the Man, I think, right? Yep.
Jam with an H, Man with an H.
Yep. And yeah, that's pretty much
Thanks
all we
for
have
watching.
Yep. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.